Good morning. It's Saturday and it's starting to rain. We're supposed to get storms. It's supposed to rain, I think, the next 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't know. And John was following the weather, and I guess there's supposed to be like hurricane type of winds or storms. And yeah, so we'll see how that affects our launching off on the Catamaran on Tuesday. So who knows? In this type of life, you just have to go with the flow. I was thinking that too, because, you know, with the pole dancing, how, you know, I was really into it and I was staying in Jack's. And, but this week I thought we were leaving. So, you know, when I am focused on something and want to like follow through, sometimes life just takes me in another way. And it's kind of the frustrating part of living in a van and the way I live my life. I wouldn't change it, but you know, it's hard to like really focus on one thing. But this is going to be like a smorgasbord, a smorgasbord of information today. I just have stuff that I want to talk about, things that I found that have worked for me, and other things, I don't know. It's going to be a weird vlog, but come on, let's go. I have to go to the post office. I have to go to the post office because I believe I have a package there. So let's go to the post office. Oh wait, quick, before we go. Last night, Keith made stew all day. He was cutting potatoes and carrots. I wasn't around. I was in town, and then I was working in back. I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday. But so, and Keith, remember, if you follow me, I talk about the booyah. It's like a Midwestern thing, and not every Midwestern town, people don't know what it is, but it's basically a stew that they cook for like a couple days. Keith made something exactly like it, and he made it in a day. But it was so good, and people brought salads, and we ate at the clubhouse. So here's a little clip from last night there. Okay. Now, good evening. We're at the clubhouse, and we're having Keith made stew. So we're having like a get together. Look at the stew Keith made. It's like booyah. You know booyah in Minnesota? And we got salads. Yum. Okay, just got out of the post office and I got 2 packages. I'm happy. I'll show you what this one is. I talked about it on my TikTok. Did I talk about it on here? Look at this. I know, scary. This is just a it's a toning gloss, and so it washes out in like 10 or 15 washes. So, I don't know. I was thinking of trying it. I mean, what can it hurt? Washes out. Although my hair is porous because of the bleach, you know, because I get it partial foiled. And what the bleach does is it takes the color out of your hair. Literally, it bleaches it, takes it out. And so when you add any type of color to it, it just like sucks up the color. And so, yeah, I have a feeling it won't be this vibrant, and it'll fade a lot quicker. So anyway, let's move on to the next random talking. Okay, so I don't know if I shared with you. You know, I'm a licensed tattoo artist because I tattoo eyebrows back home in Minnesota. I do microblading, which is, you know, I use a hand tool and I do fine strokes so they look just like hairs. So they look really natural. And then what happens is, you know, you're opening the skin to deposit the ink. And then when it heals closed with the ink in it. And then you have to have a touch up like 6 to 8 weeks later. Because a lot of times your skin doesn't just lay like this. I'm also a licensed esthetician. Your skin just doesn't, like, the layers don't lay like this. The skin kind of goes like this. So when you're depositing the ink, sometimes you're depositing it where like there's a dip or something and it doesn't take as well. So then you have to go back and just go over it. When we say a touch up, people are like, because it hurts, you know? And they're like, I thought you were just doing a touch up. Well, a touch up is doing the whole thing. So in case you go. But here's the thing. Somebody asked me too, they're like, hey, if you stop here, I'd love to have my eyebrows done and I'll pay you. And they were in like Georgia or something. So in Minnesota, after I finished my schooling, I flew to Philadelphia to train for a week doing this. It cost me a lot of money. And when I flew back, I didn't know, because it was pretty new at the time, that it's state regulated. So in Minnesota, you have to have a tattoo license to do it. Like, they don't decipher between regular tattooing and cosmetic tattooing. It's just all under the umbrella of tattooing, and it's governed under the health department in Minnesota. So I don't know if you're in a different state. Some states, I think in Wisconsin, you do not need to like I had to have 200 hours under a licensed tattoo artist. And it's funny, now I'm licensed and I can train people. Back then, there was nobody who had enough hours to do that for microblading. So I literally trained under just a regular tattoo artist. His name was Schmitty. And I said to the guy at the state, and like, he doesn't know how to do eyebrows. Like, I would have to show him. So how can he, like, be looking over me and, like, training me when he doesn't know what I'm doing? And they're like, we don't care. Just give us your money. And there you go. So it cost me, I think it cost me like, was it like $5,000 altogether with traveling and the schooling and everything to learn. Sorry, there's a gnat in here. To learn how to do tattooing or microblading. And then when I came back, to pay for the 200 hours under him, I think I paid like $1,500 or $2,000, and he gave me a deal actually. And then it's called apprenticeship, to apprentice under him. And then you have to buy all your inks and everything else. You have all that overhead, and then you have to pay for the tattoo license, which it costs, is it $700, $600, something like that, every 2 years. And so I just upped it last year because I didn't know, but I am not upping my tattoo license, which is kind of sad, because once you have something, like, you don't want to let it go in case you use it. But, I've been watching. So microblading looks really great once you do it. And I had people come to me before. They didn't used to do microblading. It was just like tattooing, like you would just color it in. And I have seen so many, listen, it's pigment. It oxidizes. And so, like, let's say you got black tattoo or black eyeliner or something, and I've seen this so many times, it turns blue. It just does over time. And so people are starting to see now. I've watched a lot of videos about it, and we didn't know when we first started, as microbladers, the pigment looks great at first. It looks fresh. And then after a while, like, you have to keep getting it retouched up. And for me, I'm thinking, because you're doing that damage to the skin and you keep redoing it in the same place, that it's probably going to cause scars. But so along that line, I started doing then scalp micropigmentation. So if you don't know what that is, I would tattoo heads, literally thousands of like dots that are replicating hair follicles for 8 hours a day. And I actually love that job. I love that job. I still have friends from people that I've done their heads. And so, when you're bald or you're balding, it can really affect your self-confidence, whether you're a man or a woman. I know men, that's like one of their biggest things, because, it makes you look youthful and feel more youthful. And for women, and a lot of times, unless you have alopecia, my friend had alopecia, and he had like thick hair. And if you don't know, alopecia, I think it's like an autoimmune thing. Like, something happened where he just got a flu one time, and then it triggered something, this autoimmune disease, alopecia, and his hair started falling out. And he was in these case studies and everything. And I think at one point it started to come back. And I'm saying, like, all the hair, like your eyebrows, everything else. For people like that, I think that microblading really can help there. They also have something now where they do an eyebrow transplant. I know, but it's an option, And so, So scalp micropigmentation. Anyway, so I would do that for 8 hours a day, and we would have a TV and people would watch TV, or we'd talk. If you think I can talk, I mean, tattooing someone's head and then we just talk the whole time, like I said, because it can be painful. So it would just like take them out of that. And we would have conversations for, a lot of times you do it for, you take breaks, 2 hours, or sometimes you just do it for 4 hours and then they'd come back for another half a day. Some people who were traveling came and they just did it like the full 8 hours and then you're done. And again, you have to come back, because here's the thing, a tattoo, again, the ink, it changes over time, and especially when it's on your head, the sun's there, we say to wear sunscreen and stuff like that, but it's just naturally going to fade. It just is. And so it's a big commitment. And some people had hair transplants, and so then they have a scar, because when you have a hair transplant, they cut back here and they take hair follicles and then they retransplant them back up here. And sometimes they don't take. It's very expensive. It's very painful from what I've heard. So I did that. And the only reason why I quit was because, first of all, they didn't pay me enough. And second, I was starting to get carpal tunnel, because I used not a hand tool like I did for the eyebrows. I used like a tattoo gun. So it was vibrating the whole time. So can you imagine just holding your hand like this the whole time, just doing this for 8 hours a day? And it didn't take long for me to start really, I would leave and my hand would be numb. And so just for longevity, and like I said, for what I was making, was not worth it. But I did love the job. But honestly, I don't know if I recommend that either. When it's new, just like the microblading, it looks really good. But then it starts to fade and you have to keep up with it. And once you do it, unless you get tattoo removal, which would be really painful on your head, I've seen that somebody got a bad scalp micropigmentation. And they had to have laser removal on their head. It hurts. So I used to run laser hair removal place. Okay, more to know. And I've worked with a lot of hair. I don't know. But I will tell you too. So I'm talking about now regrowth. So when I was doing microblading, what I realized, because there were some people I microbladed that had no hair, or maybe one eyebrow, straight eyebrow, none. So I would have to measure and, make them look pretty much the same. Cousins, not sisters, that's what we say. But found out that when, I was doing the microblading, and so it only goes down to the second layer, like a real tattoo goes down to the third layer of your skin. So this is permanent. Eyebrows are semi-permanent because they'll just fade over the time and, come to the surface, and sometimes it depends. If you have dry skin, you're going to hold the color longer. If you have oily skin, it's going to go away faster. But when you're cutting into the skin, for some reason, it seemed to stimulate the hair follicles. And a lot of those women came back to me and said, some hair started growing again. And so I truly believe in stimulating hair follicles, that there's something that happens there. And so for me, I have a lot of thick hair, as you can see. But up here, where I cut my bangs, jeepers, of course. Hold on a minute. Where I cut my bangs, it's just a little thinner right here. And so I got this. It was $6 at, they have, what is it called? Below Zero and Beals. I don't know if they have that in Minnesota. Maybe this was $6. And so it vibrates. Not sponsored. I bought it myself, and it feels good too. And I just take it and I do this, and I'll use it when I it leaves you looking like this. I'll use it when I wash my hair, and I use the shampoo, and I'll do that, and I'll do the back too. But I have already seen a difference. So I mean, I don't know if your hair's thinning, and I do think that scalp micropigmentation is good if you like have hair and it may just be like, you know, thin, and maybe you can see your scalp through it, you know, where you wouldn't go bald, because what that does is then it just fills in between. But if you don't want to use that, here's some dupes. You can use packs. That's just like fibers. You can get them, I think you can get them anywhere, Walgreens, Target, whatever. And what you do, they're like fibers, and you sprinkle them in your hair, and it'll cover, you know, the scalp so you can't see it, so it looks like your hair is more dense. Or if you really want to dupe, you can just use eyeshadow. Like if sometimes my hair was thin up here, or I want to like cover my part, I would just take like a brown, or, you know, light brown eyeshadow, and take like a brush, a makeup brush, and I just dip it in there, and then just kind of pat it in there, and it covers that, so you wouldn't be able to see that. So just some tips and tricks. Who knew we'd be talking about hair so much, huh? But yeah, I don't know, this was $6, like I said. Can't hurt, and it feels good, and I truly believe that stimulating the hair follicle, because like I said, I worked in laser hair removal, that I truly believe that that can, at least over time, help like help it grow. I mean, I'm not making any claims, I'm just saying that that's what I've seen and what I think could help. Okay, we're done talking about hair. Well, kinda. Okay, I'm gonna go into town, and we'll stop there and talk about something else. I am now at the parking lot for the gym. So I'm gonna go into the gym, and then I gotta stop at, I think I'm stopping at Aldi's. But let's see what's next. So I don't know if I told you, like in summer, there were a couple magazines that reached out to me to interview me about van life, and I think especially van life over 50. Anyway, my local, it's a magazine, like an actual magazine. You know, I can't really buy magazines anymore. Anyway, the White Bear Lake magazine in Minnesota had interviewed me last year, and they just reached out, and they wanted to do a photo shoot for the interview to put in the magazine. But they want it by March 15th, and I'm like, well, I won't be back by then. But good thing I'm a makeup artist and esthetician, and I do hair, and I take pictures of myself. And so I just went out last night. I don't remember the last time I put jeans on, and it was so hot, you don't know, I was sweating. And then I was trying to take the picture in the, you know, middle of the road. 3 cars had come by, and that road is like desolate. But of course, you know, I'm sitting in front of the van, and all of a sudden I like look around, and a car's coming. Mother, and jump in, and have to move the van and then reset up. Sorry, I am looking for something, because I wanted to show you. Anyway, if you've never used one before, how you take pictures of yourself, if you want to know. Sorry, I know I had one in here, because the one I had in here wasn't working. It's a little remote control, anyway, and it's for your phone, and it works on Bluetooth, and I think I see it. No, I don't. Anyway, so it works on Bluetooth, and so you can just buy it. I'm trying to think. I'll see if I can find one, and then I'll put it down in the description below. I just ordered them on Amazon, and so it's a remote, so you Bluetooth it with your phone, and then I put my phone on a tripod, and then I'd go sit down and, you know, pose, and you have it in your hand, and then you just click it, and it takes a picture. Or if you want to start a video, it'll start a video for you. When you want to stop it, you just click it again, and it'll stop the video. So it comes in very handy, especially when you're on your own and you're filming by yourself. Also, you know how I lost my credit cards twice while I've been here, which I've never done before. I just got this on Amazon, so it's for my iPhone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and look, you just move it, and you can put 2 credit cards in there, and then bring it like that, so then I wouldn't lose them. So I got that on Amazon. I'll put it below too. I got this pop socket just from Walmart. You wouldn't think you'd have to remind people that, but we got that. So what's next? Next I want to talk, and I'll show you the pictures here. So anyway, if you don't know, I had pinguecula. Say that 10 times real fast. So pinguecula, they're like scars on your eyes. They call it surfer's eyes or golfer's eyes. They really don't know what makes it happen. They think it's from like debris and stuff, and that like sand and everything, and that it wears like on the whites of your eyes. And then what it does is it forms like a scar, and it's raised on the white of your eye, and it's called the sclera, the technical term. And but it's red, and a lot of times it'll get inflamed. And so I had that. I know my dad had it. Now I know what it was, but and it just kind of seemed to come on like 10 years ago. And then I had really, really dry eye. I tell you, I didn't think that I was going to be able to function if that's how my dry eye was going to be, because I would put drops in all the time. I would put that oil stuff on at night, and I still would have to wake up every hour. You think with your eyes closed that wouldn't be the case, but I still would have to put in drops like every hour because my eyes would be stuck together. And there could be a couple reasons. So I was on Retin-A. I had cystic acne growing up. I was on Retin-A twice. I think I was on it when I was like 16, something like that. And then I was on it again when I was like 20, something like that, because it was cystic. It hurt. That was not fun. But the Retin-A, what the Retin-A does is it shrivels up your pores, because it takes away like the oil. It shrivels up the oil glands, so then you don't get acne like that. And honestly, it was a godsend for my confidence. But then again, having red eyes all the time and people asking you why your eyes are so red, and listen, at the time I was modeling, I was on TV, and it was embarrassing. I couldn't look people in the eye. Another thing too, LASIK. Sometimes when you get LASIK, and that's how I met Dr. Galani. He's the one that did my pterygium, pingueculas. Pingueculas turn into pterygiums. So pingueculas are the scars, but then sometimes they grow over the cornea, and then that's called a pterygium. Class is in session, remember? You're learning so much. Anyway, so it could have been from either one of those things. Like I said, it didn't happen until I was like in my 50s. Well, maybe late 40s. And I want to tell you too, talking about hair, we're going to talk about eyelashes. So what are eyelashes for? I mean, you think we just have them to put mascara on and make us look pretty? Nope, they actually have a function. So eyelashes prevent irritation and act as human whiskers. They operate as dust catchers, protecting the eye from debris that can obstruct vision or cause infection or injury. They are like human whiskers. Lashes act as sensors for objects coming close to the eye, like insects, and trigger a reflective and protective blink. Did you know that? Did you know that? Anyway, so when my eyes were so dry, I went to the ophthalmologist, here in town, and so what happens, your eyes are dry because your meibomian glands are clogged. I know, so much information. Those are, you have little holes here, and that's how you secrete, like, the natural, that's how it keeps your eyes when you blink, moisturize, and your tear ducts. I actually have plugs in my tear ducts now. But I actually wanted to get on Restasis. And listen, I was young, and once you're on Restasis, like, you're on it, and it was expensive. So I had a certain insurance, and when I went to fill the prescription, which I was so happy, like, I got a prescription, that it was $1,300 for a month, and it was this little bottle like this. And I'm like, is it unicorn urine, or why on God's green earth would drops like that cost $1,300 a month? And then the ophthalmologist gave me a coupon. Listen, I have a coupon for $200. And he's like, yeah, because I had said that before I got it, because he goes, do you know how much it costs? Like, well, I have a coupon for $200. And he goes, don't know if that's gonna help much. So then I got on insurance at some point, and then it was like $50 a month, so that was doable, and it did really help, but I couldn't imagine being on it forever. Anyway, then that's when I found Dr. Galani and that story there. My whole journey for my eyes and meeting Dr. Galani is on my Fitness, Fashion, and Beauty Over 50 YouTube page. Sorry, something's going on. So anyway, so I am really care about my eyes, you know. That's why I always wear sunglasses, you know. I always protect them, because I had 3 surgeries. I had the 2 inward ones and the outside one. I still have this one. I do have a ping on here, but it's kind of underneath, and it doesn't like bother me as much, but when it does, I will have that removed too. And so what Dr. Galani does is he takes the sclera off, he takes the scar off, and then he puts an amniotic membrane on it, but it's a no stitch. So he glues it on. I know, mind blowing. And then, but my dry eye started to go away too. And he's like, well, it's like your eyes are like, you know, younger then, because you have this. And like I said, he does a thing, he punctures the meibomian glands. Say that 10 times. Those holes right here. And it didn't hurt. It was like he numbed my eyes, and then he just like pokes it, which, because they're clogged, so then it opens them. Okay, but what also helps, like if you can't go to Dr. Galani or get that done, is heat helps it, because heat, you know, they tell you to put heat packs on your eyes for that, for like dry eyes and stuff. And because what it does is it helps like liquefy what's, you know, in there, the meibomian gland, so then it can come out easier. So anyway, I have this, and I use this quite often. And so you see, this is, you just take this off, you put this on. This one is a USB port, and I'll lay it back like this. And so this is like, you can, so it vibrates and it heats up. So the whole point is it heats up, and then the vibration also helps like shake it loose, so that then you get more flow and they aren't clogged like that. So if you have any problems like with dry eye or anything, and I know how expensive, and you can't get Restasis, and you can't go to Dr. Galani, honestly, I got this on Amazon. I'll put it below. Everything's on Amazon. And then I've been getting these because I got them before, because what happens too, like especially for women, you know, you wear makeup, and like I said, eyelashes are dust collectors and everything like that. So, you know, if you don't get all your eye makeup off, or all the things that are in your eyelashes, that can clog the meibomian gland. Oh, just throwing things. I had bought these before, and you would have to use them, but then like wipe off your eyes. But these are the leave-on formula for maximum relief. And none of this is sponsored. I'm just telling you because this stuff helps me. It's called AccuSoft Lid Scrub Plus, and these are kind of expensive, but there's 30 of them in there, and I use them one every night. So after I wash my face and everything, I take one of these, because I'm really careful to take all my eye makeup off, and then I'll take this and I'll rub it just to make sure that everything is off and there's nothing that's left there like I'm sleeping, that it's, you know, clogging the tear ducts and stuff, or the, you know, the things in your eyes, those holes in your eyes, technical term. So I think the ones that you don't leave on, you know, like that you wash off after you use them, I think those are a little less expensive. But anyway, I've noticed a big difference too since I've been using these. It's just that I think been down here, and I just use regular eye drops, like moisturizing ones, during the day. But again, I'm hyper aware of all this, and I just don't ever want to go back to what it was before. So I do everything that I can to help with that. So yeah, I think that's all there is. So hair on your head, hair on your eyebrows, hair on your eyelashes. We got all that hair covered, okay, in today's class. So I'm gonna go to the gym, and who knows what we're talking about next. See you soon. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still in the parking lot. I'm ready to go in to go work out. But first of all, I don't know if you noticed, but I took out my nose ring. And I don't need anybody's opinion about what they thought about it. I liked my nose ring. Again, it's just jewelry that you adorn yourself with. But I don't know. I was just the other night, I'm like, you know what? And I may put it back in at some point. I may not. But yeah, I liked it. So, and I'm just, I uploaded the clips that I had already. And yeah, it's almost like half an hour. So we seem to have talked about hair this whole time. Well, I have. I don't know if you found it interesting or not. I was going to tell you how oysters, clams, make pearls. Yeah, that's what we're going to learn. But not this time. I was going to talk about it this time, but we will learn it next time. Okay? Yeah, I don't know how this video got away from me like this, but there you go. So I'm going to go in and work out. I'm going to leave you here and upload this, and you go out, make an adventure, no matter how big or how small. You don't have to sell everything and move into a van. You do not. Go call someone you love, and as Joyce says, tell them that you love them, and don't you dare forget your magic. And I wanted to address something too. Somebody said not everybody's magic, and I totally get that. Like, when I talk about magic, I don't talk about, it's not about woo-woo magic. It's about magic, like I said, like eyelashes. Who would think? We think they're for makeup, you know, they're for mascara. That they actually, like, you have been created. All I can say is it's magical. And, you know, seeing the seashells and learning about them, again, magical, and how beautiful they are. Like, they aren't just made for, you know, purposes of their home, but how beautifully they're formed. And so that's magic. But listen, some people, there's just crappy people out there, you know, and doesn't mean like they're still magic. They just haven't done good things with it. So I get it. And those people, you don't have to keep them around, you know. And Greg keeps it funny. He goes, yeah, it's that Greg. So Greg, yes, we have forgiven you. You're back in the family. The family's watching you. You're still on probation though. But yeah, so if people aren't treating you right, you know, and they aren't adding to your magic, then by all means, clip, 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 cut them off. Okay? Okay, we're going to end there. I will see you in the next one. Bye.